Good afternoon. No, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast. Just give me one moment while I put the phone down. There we go. Okay, so as you can hear in the car, this is my life now. I'm recording podcasts in the car lately. And it's just because this morning I dropped Buddy off to daycare. Then I did a supervision session for a beautiful client of mine, and then I just had to go and get some medicine for my mum. It's about 30 degrees here in Melbourne today, and I'm now just heading down to the supermarket so that I can pick up some good food for lunch. But anyway, I thought that I'd take this time to record a podcast for you because I want to share something that I'm up to. It's one of my little side hustles. But as I was explaining it to somebody yesterday, it dawned on me that this might be interesting and maybe inspiring for some of you as well. So if you are someone who maybe you're not just beginning, maybe you're not just starting your private practice, maybe you've been in your private practice for a few years and you're feeling like you're feeling like I just can't do it anymore. I mean, I don't know about you, but I certainly got to a point with my private practice of seeing one-to-one clients where I started to notice, and honestly, it wasn't for years and years and years, but when it happened, I really noticed it. But I started to, I guess, feel like a sense of disappointment maybe when a client would book in. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's kind of like I'll just slump over, or I just feel like, oh no, somebody's booked in. And it took me a while to sort of unpack this, and I was thinking, am I burning out? But it wasn't that. And I can be totally transparent with you because this went on for months. I was thinking to myself, oh no, somebody's booked in. I would open up my diary and I would see there were so many clients booked, and I would just feel sad. I would just feel like, how can I get out of this? I need a break. What can I do differently? All those kinds of things. But it was really hard because I didn't want to feel like that. I certainly felt thankful and grateful that people were booking sessions with me. I was so thankful and so grateful. And of course, I want to help. It's nothing to do with my desire to help people. It was just something was changing, and I don't know whether it was just my energy, maybe it was my age, maybe it was just I've been doing it for so long, but whatever caused it to happen, it happened. And it started off quite gradually. Like I used to just kind of dismiss it. I would think to myself, oh no, someone's booked in an appointment, and I would still show up for the appointment and do my best work and all that kind of stuff, but I'd kind of downplay it to myself. But what ended up happening was, over time, I started to feel more and more, I don't know if disappointed is a word, but maybe dread. Like I got to the point where I didn't want to open up my calendar for fear that there were people in it waiting to be seen. And something else started to happen as well, where I'd get really happy and excited and almost dance around the room if there was a cancellation, because I don't know, it just felt like so joyful to have a cancellation. And I know that that's not how you're meant to feel. It's not how you're meant to feel when you're running a private practice. It's not how you're meant to feel, apparently. And I didn't want to talk to anybody about it because I felt guilty. I knew that there were other people who were really struggling to build their private practices. And so I thought, you know, who am I to be dreading appointments and celebrating cancellations or reschedules when there are other people that are struggling? Like, who am I to be doing that, and who am I to be carrying on like that? And that's not fair on them, and I shouldn't be feeling this way. And so for the longest time I felt guilt and I felt ashamed of myself for feeling the way that I did about having a fully booked diary. I mean, in the beginning it's the goal. In the beginning it's, you know, where do I find the clients? And, you know, you're scrambling and you're scratching around, or at least I was, because I didn't have a Marketing with Soul program or a PP1 Lite to show me what to do. So I was struggling, but my goal was at that time fill the diary with clients by, hook or by crook. And so that's what I did, and that was my whole focus. And then once I had that fully booked diary, it was just a matter of sustaining it and keeping that momentum going, which, as you know, is something I did for decades. But then, I don't know, it was just, something came over me, and I just thought, I don't know that I can do this anymore. And then I started to think to myself, well, I've got to support myself. I've got to look after my mum. I've got to look after Buddy. What am I going to do? Well, it wasn't Buddy then, it was Gabe. But I was thinking, what am I going to do, and how am I going to get around this? And it wasn't that I didn't want to see one-to-one clients, because I still do see one-to-one clients today. I still have 3 or 4 counselling clients that I work with. I only see them once a month, which is perfect for us both. I have a sprinkling of supervision clients, a sprinkling of coaching clients. Like, honestly, I don't work with that many clients one-to-one, because I'm so aware of how I feel about my energy, and I don't want that energy to be drained. I want to feel energized. I want to feel like I can show up and give my best. And if I reduce the number of sessions, then I can absolutely guarantee that I can do all of those things. But if I start to see more again, I know that things, it's a bit like a house of cards, and things are all going to fall over. And I don't want that. I don't want that for my clients. I don't want it for me. And so I was faced with this dilemma of, well, what do I do? Because I still need to support myself financially and other people now, and I'm no longer a psychologist where people can get rebates for seeing me, and I also don't want to be doing the one-to-one work anymore. So what can I do? And I guess that's really how the digital product stuff came about. So look, I call it digital products because that's what my coach called it, but you could say online products if you want. But basically it's things like memberships or online courses, or selling things through your website. Like maybe you want to sell some affirmation decks or journals or planners or things like that, like an anxiety planner if you deal with anxiety, or a trauma planner or a trauma bundle or something like that. You can sell it to your clients. But I started to do that, and I really loved it. I really, really loved it. It allowed me to be really creative and not have to justify not seeing anybody. I really liked being in Canva. I really liked developing new skills. And then when sales started coming in, I really liked that too. But the reality of selling digital products is, while it can be a wonderful stream of passive income after you've set it all up, I mean, it's kind of like an aeroplane taking off. All the energy is used in the takeoff, and then you just kind of coast. It's the same with selling digital products. There's a lot of energy used in the early stages for thinking about what you want, researching it, seeing whether or not there's a market for it, creating it, or if you're not creating it, if you're buying other people's templates, then you've got to rebrand them. You've got to make them look so different that somebody, who was, looking for an anxiety planner wouldn't know that yours was one of the template ones. So it's all of this, and then you've got to take photos of it and list it and write a good description and put keywords in it and hashtags and all the things, right? So it's a lot of work for little reward. You might get, depending on the cost or the price rather of what you're selling things for. For example, I think the average cost of all of my things in my Etsy store is about $25 US. But in saying that, I sell a lot of things for like $5, $7, $9. And while those sales come in, and that's really exciting, to get the little notifications from Stripe on your phone, $7 just came in, $11 just came in. You have to make a lot of those sales to cover replacing the cost of one client, to cover replacing the cost of a session fee. And unless you are willing to make a high volume of products to sell, it's unlikely that you're ever going to be able to replace your one-to-one sessions with passive income. That's the reality. One of the things that I tell all my members in the Makers Society, so that's a membership that I have where I teach people how to create and sell digital products to replace money that they'd be losing if they drop back on their one-to-one sessions. I'm not saying get rid of them altogether, but let's say you wanted to, I don't know, do 3 or 4 less. Like, let's say you wanted to, instead of doing 4 a day, you wanted to do 3 a day. Figure out how much money you need to replace. So if you're charging the recommended fee of $150 per session, there'll be 4 sessions you needed to replace at $150. So you need $600 coming in per week from those digital products. So what you need to do is you have to have a high volume, and what I share with the members of the makers is that you need to have 1,000 products minimum, 1,000 minimum on Etsy in order to be making that kind of money regularly, week in and week out. The reality is that because making digital products is a side hustle for a lot of therapists, they will make, 5 to 10 items, pop them on their website or pop them in their Etsy store and not get sales, and then they give up because they think it's not working. And that's really sad to me, because I've seen people make some really beautiful, useful, needed things, but they don't sell simply because there's not enough volume, or because they've got the price point wrong, or because they haven't written a good description, or because they don't know how to market it. So there's a whole lot of things, right? We can't just make digital products and expect that they're going to sell. You've got to learn how to market them. It's kind of like with marketing your private practice. I was looking through Instagram this morning, before I took Buddy down to daycare, and we're just waiting for it to open. We're sitting in the car. I was just scrolling through my Instagram, and I saw posts from people in private practice that said things like, availability, appointments available now. And I just thought, you're never going to get any clients by doing that. And they don't. Or they put up Instagram posts of things that are just already saturated, things that are already out there that clients already know. They're not showing the personality. They're not building rapport. They're not doing any of those things. And so anyway, I was reflecting on all of this yesterday, because I am creating at the moment another Instagram account to sell my digital products. And I was thinking about the niche, because of course these business tools that I teach, they don't just apply to your private practice, they apply to all businesses. So I'm sitting there yesterday and I'm thinking, okay, I know I want to create another Instagram account. I know I want it to be just for my digital products, but I need a niche. So who's my niche going to be? And so I started doing niche research, and I started looking at other accounts that were selling digital products. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. And it's so easy to get sucked into doing what everybody else is doing, like the beige aesthetic with the, luxury writing over the top of it and all of that. And I nearly got swept up in that. And I was nearly going to go and, start getting busy in Canva, making those types of reels and posts and everything for this other account. But what I realized is, no, that's not my niche. They're not selling to my niche. I need to figure out who I want to sell it to. And I did the processes, I applied the processes that I teach in Private Practice 101, which is, your mess to message. And so I thought, okay, what's my mess to message? And this is how I came to realize the journey that I've just shared with you, that everything was going really well until it wasn't, until I got to a point where I started to resent having bookings, where I got excited. Like, the more white space I saw in my diary, the happier I was. That was me. So I thought, I can make this my niche. So that's what I'm doing. So my niche for selling my digital products is people who are like me, who reach that point where they know that they don't want to see any more one-to-one clients. They either want to do a one-to-many model, or they want to start making money by selling digital products. And the other thing is by selling high-ticket digital products. So not things on Etsy, but high-ticket digital products. So this is my thing, and I'm doing it as a faceless Instagram account because I want to give that a go. It's kind of a newish thing, and I just want to give it a go and see what happens. I'm going to be making, in my research, I also discovered, hot tip, that Instagram is now trying to be a search engine like Google. So when you write your captions, it's not really going to care that much anymore about your hashtags, but it will be caring about keywords, because it wants to be, as I mentioned, like a search engine. So thinking about how I'm going to write my captions moving forward, but also I know that reels get attention, so I'll be doing reels, and I'm going to try and do 3 reels a day where I can. I'm not going to force myself to do it, but I'm going to try and do 3 reels a day. And I'm building up this account from nothing. Like, it's a brand new account. Now, to be, again, totally transparent, I did give this a go probably 3 or 4 months ago, but then got waylaid with everything that was happening, like personally with Buddy and Mum and stuff like that. So anyway, tossed that one, but we're starting fresh and we'll see how we go. So that's one of the things that I'm doing now as somebody who is still wanting to cut back that one-to-one work. I'll be selling digital products to people who are just like me, who also want to cut back on their one-to-one work, and I'll be doing it all on a faceless Instagram account. I know, so I'm not going to have to put on my makeup, I'm not going to have to do my hair, I'm not going to have to put on nice clothes or anything. I can just do it all from the comfort of the couch in my yoga pants, or in bed, or in the spa, or whatever. You get the idea. So this is the plan, and I'm sharing it with you because I want you to see the journey. I want you to understand the journey, but most of all, I want you to know that if you're where I was a couple of years ago in terms of just being kind of over it with seeing clients and listening to the clients and all that kind of stuff, which, as I said, I was so grateful, so grateful, but something shifted in me and I felt so much guilt and so much shame that I didn't talk to anyone about it. And I did have a supervisor, I do have a supervisor, and I did speak to her about it, but even then I think I still probably held back myself because I was thinking, I'm feeling guilty. Like, nobody was making me feel guilty, but there was a perception that I had that I would be judged for being ungrateful or not thankful enough or whatever it was about, or being disappointed that clients had booked in. But it was just my journey. And so, this account that I'm creating, this little pivot that I'm doing, well, it's kind of my side hustle, as I said, not really a pivot, it's a side hustle because I'm already doing digital products. And the thing is too, with my Etsy store and selling digital products like my memberships, my courses, the shop, all of that, I'm well and truly replacing my income. But I've got high volumes of stuff. I'm marketing them all the time. I'm calling in new members all the time. It's a lot to do, and it's a lot to be mindful of. So I'm just sharing that with you. If you are thinking of taking this journey, you can cut back your one-to-one work. But you're still going to be working, right? It just means instead of being on a Zoom, you'll just be on your phone doing the work, right? So you've got a bit more flexibility about where you can work from and how you can work. But this can absolutely be something that you can consider. So if you're in private practice and you're thinking about what kind of, online or digital product could I sell, you might want to think about creating a course for your clients that prepares them for counselling, or you could do a course that they could complete once they finish counselling. You could create a course that could support them while they're on their counselling journey with you. You could have printable products for them, like journals and planners and phone papers and posters and affirmation decks, and you could do all those kinds of things as well. So it's really, there's so much that you can do. I also sell bundles of things to my counselling clients, but also to my private practice clients. So those bundles will often include things like a planner, a journal, what else do we have? Card decks, posters, workbooks, worksheets, cheat sheets, tip sheets, checklists, audios, meditations, visualizations, self-hypnosis, scripts for all kinds of things, journal prompts for all kinds of things, stuff like that. So you might even consider selling bundles, as part of your private practice, and you'll see that once you get into the habit of selling them, that you only need to sell a few, and then that saved you seeing one client, and then you sell a few more, and then you don't need to see another client. And eventually over time what happens is you can start really dropping back noticeably your one-to-ones while you start building up the money that's coming in from the digital products. So that's kind of how it works. But the thing that I'm focusing on now is like the next level of that, and that's selling high ticket digital products to people. And so that's what this Instagram account is about. And so it's going to be selling courses to people that are high value, that get results, do you know what I mean, that are needed, that are wanted, that people are looking for, and that will make them money. That's the big thing. So one of the courses that I'm selling, if you bought it and you sold it, you'd be making minimum $775 from that course. And you only have to sell one, right, to make that money. And think about how many clients $775 replaces, right? It might replace 4 or possibly 5 clients, which is like you can replace a day of work. You can give yourself a whole day off if you sell just one of these a week. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm doing, and I wanted to share it with you because, I know I always talk to people who are building private practices or starting their private practices, as well as people who are in it and they're wanting to hire teams and deal with, team dynamics and how do we recruit and all those kinds of things. But I also want to speak to people who are experiencing this part of the private practice journey too, which some of you might be experiencing right now. Maybe you'll never experience it, but I would hazard a guess that if you've been in it for a while, you probably have days where you long for an empty diary, in which case selling the digital products might be something that could still let you have the business, still let you see some clients, so you could see the clients that you really wanted to see, that lit you up, that made you feel good, that you want to work with, and not stress about your income because you've got money coming in, right? And it's true what they say about you can make money in your sleep, because I can show you so many screenshots of times I've gotten up with Buddy at like 6:15 in the morning or 8 in the morning or whatever it is, and there's notifications there on my phone and in my Stripe account and in my PayPal account that sales have come in. So once you create your digital product, you then set up automations, and that's how everything happens on autopilot. That's what people are talking about. But it does take time in the beginning to do things like rebrand, write your sales page, write your email sequences. You do go on a learning curve, and that can take a few days if you're going to throw yourself into it whole hog, or you might choose to do it over a period of a couple of months. For me, I just dove straight in, and I just started working with a new digital product over the weekend. So I made a sales page, did my emails, and I got my links for it and set it all up. And so now today, after lunch, if I'm in the mood, I will start to post on my new Instagram account about that. So these are some options that you can do that will help you to still keep the business going while you see less clients, and it's an alternative to you hiring a subcontractor that you may have to pay superannuation for. It's an option to you hiring employees that you've got to pay salaries for when they're off sick and they're not income producing, and you've still got to scrounge for the money for that. So this is an option to those other two scenarios, or the scenario of you saying, do you know what, maybe I'm just going to wrap it all up now, maybe I'm done and finished. You don't have to be done and finished. You get to work with the clients that you want to work with, the number of clients you want to work with per week, the number of sessions you want to do per week, the type of clients you want to work with, the fee you want to charge. You can do all of those things your way on your terms and supplement your income by diversifying your income stream in your business. That's all this is. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to explain to you what I'm doing because, as I said before, I just want to show you what the journey can look like for some of us. Everybody's journey is different. This is what my journey is looking like at the moment. And yeah, I hope this helps raise awareness about you don't have to just stick within the confines of counselling. Your business can be so much more than that. As I said, you can have a membership based on your counselling niche. I've got plenty of memberships. I've got them for digital products. I've got them for private practice owners. I've got them for diploma level counsellors. I've got them for, everything. So you could have memberships. You could have courses. I've got courses on how to do a private practice. I've got courses on how to market your business. I've got courses on how to get clients. All those kinds of things, they count as digital or online products. So you can have all of those. They still fit under the umbrella of private practice, but they don't require the level of intensity of one-to-one client work. And for that reason, they can be heaven sent for some of us. And I just want you to know that if you're in that space where you feel like you need a break from the one-to-one, maybe you want to start exploring this a little bit more from, this angle. So yeah, I just thought this would be really useful and helpful for you to hear. And if you have any questions about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, don't hesitate to reach out to me because I'm more than happy to share my knowledge, as you know. Okay, so have a really wonderful day. Stay hydrated. Stay nice and cool if you can, if you're in Melbourne. I think I was talking to a supervision client this morning. She was in New South Wales and she was saying one day it's 23, the next it's 39, the next it's 44. So yeah, if you're in New South Wales, take care as well. And everybody in Queensland, we've got tornadoes coming in now. You've just had such a hard time of things. My thoughts are with you and sending you lots of love. Okay, take care everyone. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.